Hello, awesomeness creators. It's Nina Kovner with Passion Squared with this episode of Q and Awesome. On this episode, I am addressing a question that I got regarding toxic leadership in the business. And again, could be any business. Toxic leadership in the business. So I'm going to turn this into toxic environments. How's that? And by toxic, I don't mean like toxic like chemicals. I mean toxic energy, right? Toxic people. And what do we do about it as individuals? Well, first, we have to remember that the only thing we have control over is ourselves. Can you believe that? It's true. We have no control over anything around us, right? We don't have control over people. We don't have control over managers or bosses or leaders. We don't have control over the cars on the road. We don't have control over the weather. I know we want to. Just because we want to doesn't mean we have control. But we do. This is the beautiful thing about it, guys. We have control over our choices. We have control over our environments. And we have control over what we choose to allow into our lives. And I know that that sounds like I'm making it like easy. It's not. It's super hard. It's super hard. But it's a simple concept. Just like most things in life are, guys. I've said it before. It's not that complicated. We make it complicated because of the feelings and the emotions and the codependency. And, there's a lot that goes into relationships in general when it comes to the business. So the question specifically was, what do I do about a toxic manager who has no vision and who's not nice, who's not supportive, who, et cetera, et cetera. And it's not the first time I've heard this situation, and it certainly won't be the last. But guys, the answer is really simple, but it's not easy. We get to choose the environments for which we play in. And I'm not saying it's easy to leave an environment. I'm not saying it's easy to confront the situation. I'm not saying it's easy to do any of the things that are necessary, but it's still our choice whether we choose to engage with people, engage with businesses, engage with employers, engage in cities or relations, whatever. And so the question becomes, how big of a problem is it for you, right? It's the same thing with clients, guys. We have certain clients that have unhealthy boundaries, or we don't know how to set boundaries. And in some cases, they make us literally sick to our stomach with their energy and their behavior. And so, again, same type of question I get all the time. What do I do? And it's like, well, if this is an unhealthy relationship, then it needs to end. Right? If you don't see any healthy outcome coming from this relationship, if you don't see any way to make this relationship better, then there's only one alternative. It's either going to get better or it needs to end, right? So in the case of an abusive client or an abusive leadership, we get to choose, right? Are we going to allow it? Are we going to stay in that environment, or are we going to create a healthy environment for ourselves somewhere else, or address the issue, or whatever? All uncomfortable. It's all uncomfortable stuff. It takes a lot of courage to have those conversations. It takes a lot of courage to confront a situation that we see as hopeless. It takes a lot of courage to have a conversation with a client that is not a conversation they were prepared to have. It's hard to break up with anything or anyone. But at the end of the day, it is our choice whether we choose to stay in that relationship, in business or in life. So, once again, not easy at all. But it comes down to we teach people how to treat us, right? And we have to set boundaries, and we have to be self-loving and confident enough to say this is not okay anymore. And for some of us, it takes longer than others. But there is a solution. There is a solution. It's just really hard. It's so hard. So there you have it. Oh, guys, I know. I know. But that's the truth. Thank you so much for watching. I love you. Wishing everyone the best of days. And be sure to subscribe to my weekly love notes, the weekly dose of awesome. You can find it at passionsquared.net. Have a beautiful day. I love you. Mwah. Bye.